Hello and welcome. Here we are, December 27th, man, almost through the year. Come on, next year. Let's just get this one over with. Good game of slated games yesterday. Remember to go check out Iggy's Fantasy and Betting for all your needs to fantasy betting. Player Pine hit last week. We got the betting articles. Big Almo was big on there. While you're there, you can sign up for the Super Draft. Doesn't matter where you live. All 50 states are legal. Just go sign up for it. You got a $0, $20, $50, $100 plan. Very simple, man. You can play DFS no matter where you live, and you can win cash money prizes. All right, so go check that out. All right, let's review last week. Pretty interesting games. I'm just going to go through these real quick. Falcons beat the Lions 20-16. Bengals just whipped up on the Ravens 41-21. Somehow the Ravens are still in the playoffs. Bengals have moved themselves into first in the AFC North. How about that? Swept the Ravens, swept the Ravens, and swept the Steelers for the first time I think in franchise history. We got Rams. They just destroyed the Vikings 30-23, but it wasn't really that close. They overcome 3 turnovers. Rams aren't playing good football, but they were able to move into first in the division. Bills at Patriots. It looks like the Bills just dominated the Patriots from the get-go. I don't think that they ever didn't have the lead in the game. And Josh Allen did what he had to do. The Bills were very aggressive, going for it on several fourth downs, putting the ball in the hands of their best playmaker, and he delivered, man. And that's what it should be about. Jaguars versus the Jets was actually a really great game to watch going down the stretch. Michael Carter had 118 yards. Trevor Lawrence still can't find a touchdown. James Robinson went out early, killing a lot of people's, probably weeks, however you could call this week, semifinals, conference championships, whatever, the week before the championship. Probably cost a lot of people their game, man. But that's how it is. You lose somebody early and you can't recover. Jets 26, Jaguars 21. Giants, Eagles. Eagles 34, Giants 10. It was actually pretty close in the second half. The Eagles got 31 points in the second half to overcome a 3-0 deficit. Buccaneers 32-6. It was never in question. Just absolutely steamrolled the Carolina Panthers. Antonio Brown had 10 catches for 101 yards. Gotta love it. Texans just all over the Chargers. Who are the Chargers? I say this week to week. I mean, if you listen to certain people in the media out there, the Chargers were going to the Super Bowl. They said, "Oh, the Chargers going to the Super Bowl." Why is that? Because they want to pump up LA, and there's a lot of people that live in LA, and they're like, "Oh, Justin Herbert." Oh, it's all these dynasty people too. Oh, Justin Herbert, just cream my pants watching him play. Just be real careful with these dynasty people. Dynasty people will give you awful, awful advice to win a championship. I'm not sure. I feel like people that play dynasty they don't even want to win the championship. They want the prospects for next year. Oh well, you can't win this year because you're going to sacrifice it all to win this year. Like, be careful listening to people that play nothing but dynasty football because they're not going to give you any help in redraft league. They're hardly going to help you in best ball leagues. Their advice is very poor, in my opinion. Very, very poor. You can listen to my advice, and I said I don't know who the Chargers are. I don't know who they are from week to week. I don't know who they are when they don't have Austin Eckler. Who they don't have when they have Austin Eckler is they're nothing. Justin Herbert, 27 for 35, 336 yards, 1 touchdown. Just couldn't do it, man. Some of that was in garbage time too. They got that last touchdown when they were just out of beaten, and as I believe Herbert threw his touchdown then. So Rex Burke had 22 carries, 149 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did the damn deal, bro. Hopefully you had him in some kind of DFS lineup. Bears at Seahawks. Bears pull out the victory, 25-24. Last second shenanigans, man. I think they went for 2 to get it all. Gerald Everett 4 for 68 and a touchdown. Steelers at the Chiefs. This one was single-handedly dominated by the Chiefs, who was never even close. The Steelers barely scored in the second half. Broncos at Raiders, pretty close game. Broncos got all their points in the second quarter and just got shut out the second half. The Raiders played excellent defense against Drew Lock and did what they had to do. Raiders fighting for a playoff position, 8-7. Washington at Cowboys, 56-14. I believe the Cowboys they have 42 points before halftime, their most ever. Dak Prescott killed it, 330 yards, most of that in the first half. Ezekiel Elliott, 37 carries and 2 touchdowns. Cooper got his touchdown as well. So what does that mean all for the standings in the NFL? Let's take a look real quick. Number one in the AFC, Kansas City Chiefs, 11-4. Number 2, Tennessee Titans. Kansas City has Cincinnati and Denver. Tennessee has Miami and Houston. So technically an easier schedule. And if Kansas City drops one these next 2 weeks and Tennessee wins out, they will be the number 1 seed in the AFC. Pretty crazy to think about. Cincinnati Bengals 9-6, like I said, 3rd seed. Buffalo Bills 9-6 in the 4th seed. They were able to take over against the New England Patriots, and they have Atlanta and New York Jets. If you want to do Buffalo to win the division, I think they have a good chance. Number 5, the Indianapolis Colts 9-6. They got Las Vegas and Jacksonville. They pretty much just need to hold on, get a win. They probably want to try to play. I don't know who they want to play. That's going to be hard in the AFC. New England Patriots are 6 at 9-6. They lost the division lead with that loss, but they do have Jacksonville and Miami up. With a little bit of luck, they can get back in there. We'll have to see how that shakes out. Baltimore hanging on by just a thread, 8-7. But they got the Rams and the Pittsburgh Steelers that they have to play. On the outside out, Chargers 8-7, Raiders 8-7. Move to the NFC, Packers, of course, 12-3, number 1 in the NFL. They got Minnesota and Detroit left. I think they got to win 2 of those games. I don't know. Dallas could come back. Dallas has got Arizona and Philadelphia. They're in the number 2 seed. Los Angeles Rams 11-4. We got Baltimore and San Francisco left. Pretty tough schedule remaining. Tampa Bay, number 4. They got the Jets and Carolina. They should finish out fine, So it's going to be some 13-10 wins. 13-10 wins. 13-10. 13 team wins. I don't know. There's going to be teams with 13 wins in the NFC at the top. Arizona Cardinals 10-5 remaining schedule. Dallas and Seattle. They're going to have to do some work to try to come back and get the division back in their hands. San Francisco 8-7 in the 6th place. They have Houston and Los Angeles Rams remaining. Pretty close one. They got to win it out. Eagles 8-7. Washington and Dallas. Saints 7-7, Minnesota Vikings 7-8, Atlanta Falcons 7-8. All right, so there you have it. How it's breaking down for the playoffs. We need to take a look at the betting aspect of things today. For fantasy, Miami Dolphins and New Orleans. I tried to set a DFS lineup. I guess Waddle's going to have to be the guy. When I look at the quarterback situation, it's going to be the rookie quarterback in Kamara. I'm not really going to trust Callaway. I'm not going to trust, any tight end, Johnson. I'm not going to trust Smith. I'm not going to trust Ingram. If I'm playing anybody for the Saints, it's Kamara and the quarterback. And that's it. And the only reason I play the quarterback is because he was at Notre Dame. He did get some rushing yards. I think he had like 6 touchdowns and 500 yards. So he's not going to be scared to take off. And I have a feeling that's what they're going to revert back to. Just a lot of Kamara and a lot of their 4th-string quarterback taking it. On the Dolphins side of the ball, you got Tua, you got Waddle. Is Duke Johnson going to have another performance like he did? I don't know. I wouldn't bet on it. Myles Gaskin, I don't know. I wouldn't bet on it. Mike Gesicki could have a good game. Parker, if they're playing a lot of short stuff and Parker runs a deep route and gets open, he could go out for a bomb, get a big bomb touchdown if you play in a league that rewards 40 or 50-yard touchdowns passes. So, from the defensive standpoint, it's always the same guys for the Dolphins. Emmanuel Ogbah, Christian Wilkinson, Jerome Baker. I can't think of their safety right now. 2nd-year player. Rowe, I think he's also available from the Saints. Demario Davis is out as well. It's got to be the Malcolm Jenkins show. I think, IDP-wise for the Saints, you can maybe play Davenport. You can maybe look at Cameron Jordan. I think they're banged up, and I don't know what to expect from this game, from the Saints, that is. I don't know how they're going to overcome it. Okay, let's take a look at the line. -3.5 points for the Miami Dolphins at the spread. That's at +100. The Saints are in at +3.5, obviously at -120. This line was at 3.5 for the Saints prior to the COVID news. As soon as it happened, the line moved to 1.5. I bet pretty heavy on that, and I put the mouse on it. Remember, the mouse was Atlanta to win the money line, Green Bay, Cleveland under 49.5, and Miami to cover a -1.5 point spread. So that's all we need for the mouse to hit this week. And the line moved up to 3.5. So hopefully you got it at 1.5. You could even keep it down still if you'd like. The over-under is the lowest I've seen on the season at 37.5. Just an incredibly low line for Monday night. And I don't know what to expect from the Saints. So if anything, I would tease that up and just hope that the under hits. On the money line, it's still really tight, -165 to +145 for the Dolphins. So let's take a look real quick at some of the betting angles we can find here. We got the the straight props. Who are they expecting to score the touchdowns? Alvin Kamara's at negative 110. Waddle's at plus 130. Duke Johnson Jr. at 260. Devontae Parker 260. Mike Gesicki 260. Marquise Callaway 300. Traquan Smith 300. Miles Gaskin 310. Ian Book, the quarterback, 310. Mark Ingram 350. Miami Dolphins defense plus 500. Tua Tagovailoa plus 500. Nick Bennett. New Orleans Saints defense at 750. Salvin Ahmad 750. Philip Lindsay 750. So, if you're going to take it in anywhere, I would take it Alvin Kamara, Jalen Waddle, maybe Mike Gesicki at 260. Maybe if you're feeling really crazy, Miami Dolphins defense at plus 500. Let's look at some of these passing props. I wonder if they even have some. No, it's just Tua. I thought that's how it might be because there's no information. There's no film on the other quarterback, Ian. So that's where we're at. 231 yards for Tua. 1.5 passing touchdowns. That's at plus 105 to go over, negative 140 to go under. Interceptions over half, negative 115 either way. Let's see if they give us a lot of Saints props. I'm kind of thinking they're not. Oh, for the rushing yards, there's only Saints props. There's Alvin Kamara at 55.5 yards on the over-under. Mark Ingram at 28.5. Both at standard props. Receiving yards, the highest prop is Jalen Waddle's 63.5. Then we have Devontae Parker 47.5. Marquise Callaway 35.5. Mike Gesicki 41.5. Excuse me. Traquan Smith 32.5. Alvin Kamara 24.5. Receptions, the highest reception total, Jalen Waddle 5.5 at negative 165. Then we have Mike Gesicki at 4.5 at plus 130 on the over. And then let's see, 3.5 Devontae Parker negative 160. And then 2.5 Marquise Callaway negative 155. Nick Burnett 2.5 negative 115. Traquan Smith 2.5 negative 130. Rushing plus receiver, we got Alvin Kamara at 84.5. Hey, that's not a bad line if you think they can get there. Mark Ingram's at 41.5. All right, that'll do longest rush or longest reception. Not my things. We got a special on the DK promotions. Jalen Waddle 2+ catches, negative 10,000. You can have that if you'd like it. Defensive and special teams, no tackling props. They have no tackling props for us. We got Jason Sanders over 6.5 points. Jason Sanders over 1.5 field goals made at negative 115. And PAT made 1.5 at negative 215. So they are expecting 2 touchdowns on there. Let's see. I don't think there's any odds boost yet for this game. I don't see any. Today's boost, all I want for Christmas is Tua Tagovailoa to throw 2 touchdowns at plus 120. If you want that boost, I'm going to stay away from it. He could do that. I'm not saying he couldn't do that. Saints still have a pretty decent defense. It's going to be interesting to see what Tua can do against that. It's probably going to be just a lot of the same, man. High completion passes, short passes. Try to control the clock. Try to keep New Orleans from having the ball and move it down the field and keep their playoff hopes alive. That's where Miami's goal's at today, and that's what they're going to have to work on it. For the most part. All right, man. Hit me up, DM me. I've been getting a lot of questions, offensive questions, defensive questions. Hit me up. I love it, baby. Let's just keep those rolling in. Remember, go check out Iggy's Fantasy and Medicine for all your needs. You can hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Any of those spots, I'll answer your questions. I don't even care if you're following me. Follow would be nice. If you are listening, just click that subscribe button for me on the YouTube. It's very easy to do. All you got to do is subscribe. It doesn't cost you any money. It doesn't cost you anything. Just helping out your boy right here, all right? You have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. We'll be out with the power rankings, top performances tomorrow. All right, you guys have a wonderful day, and peace.